What's going on, guys? This is Nick up here at Maple Motors in Hendersonville, Tennessee. I got a 1968 Camaro sitting here with a 1969 model small block 350, aluminum heads, power steering. I want to take y'all on a test drive. As soon as we get done with the test drive, we're going to come back here. I'm going to walk around the outside, point out any kind of flaws that I could find. I'm excited for this ride. I love Camaros. Let's shut this hood and take this thing down the road. This should be fun. And oh yeah, did I mention it's a 4-speed? All right, guys. Yeah, I've been excited to do this car. I've had it for a few days. I've been over here looking at it. This is the first time I've actually got up close and personal. Notice we're missing our little trim around the ignition here. I might be able to come up with one of those. Just seen that, so I pulled her back there and wiped her off. Make sure to get all the snow off these cars. Check my window here. Get my mirror right. There we are. RPM gauge is coming up. It's showing 78,000 miles on it. Of course, I can't stand behind that. Try and get the horn to work. Don't think the horn works. Of course, the motor's a 69 model. It's a 68 model car. Like that being said, can't stand behind the miles. They can be changed out. The dash can be changed out. I hear it blowing. It's blowing from the floor. Just trying to put the heat on. See if the heat works. There's no AC. Feels a bit warmer, but the temperature has not come up yet. Do not think the gas gauge works. It's pegged all the way out to the right. These gauges look pretty old, and they're not bolted down. You can see behind it. It looks like they're plugged up and stuff, but your oil pressure gauge is not moving down here. Console's not in bad shape. And like I said, there's a tip gauge right here on the dash. I'm kind of letting it warm up for a second. It is getting warm. It does have heat. There's a fan switch down here. Let's take off. The clutch lets out pretty good, about halfway. Check our brakes. Brakes are kind of stiff. Real solid brake. Almost feels like manual brakes. Our steering wheel's not perfectly centered up. There's a bit of slack in the steering. See if I let go of it. See if we're going straight here. We're going straight down the road. It's not pulling to the left or right, but there is that slack in the steering. Check my brakes while there's nobody behind me. Yeah, you really got to stand on them. They're manual brakes. The little plate's making some noise right here between the shifter and the console. It was rattling. A little plastic plate in there to cover it up. The steering wheel's definitely not centered up. The speedometer's coming up. A little stiff there getting it in a second. Try it again. Normally what I like to do is I'll stop at the gas station, put about 20 bucks in it since the gas gauge isn't working. Went right in that time. Our gas tank's right behind the tag back here. Or right above the tag, I believe. We'll get to the other side. It's starting to warm up today. letting out a lot of heat now. Well, let's get some gas. Up here at the gas station, like I said, I'm gonna throw about $20 worth of some premium gas in this car. I love the looks of these Camaros. I'm tempted to get me one this year. Reverse lights are on. We know those work, but they shouldn't be staying on like that. I wonder if I kept the ignition on. Let's see. They're staying on for some reason. Let's put some gas on and keep on going down the road. Like I said, the gas gauge does not work. It's been all the way out to the right there. Start her up, take off again. Put y'all on the driver's seat and we'll take off here. Pretty clear roads this morning. Car gets a little squirrely, it feels pretty good. Like I said, it'll stop as fast as you can push the brake, but what manual brakes are doing to it. So I got a very low gear ratio. The speedometer is pretty accurate, about 40 mile an hour is what we're running right now at 2,500 RPM. This car is probably only going to run about 55 to 60 mile an hour with the gear ratio that's in it. I wouldn't push it no more than that. Let's see. So that's $3,000 at 55, so 60 is going to be 3,500. I wouldn't run any more than that on long distances. Unless you change that gear ratio out, which can be done. A lot of people do it, especially to get the highway gear so they can run 80. Need to tighten this mirror up. There's a little screw right here. Keeps falling on me. Let's see if this will work here. Yeah, it just needs to be tightened. Sound like a tire rubbed up here in the front right. I believe the car's been lowered a little bit, but the ride feels good. The blinker's working. You see it blinking on the dash there, and it cuts off automatically. Let's see. On the up side, it's a little stiff, but it's working. You can see it blinking on the dash. Try our wipers out. Wipers work. So our engine temp's sitting right at 180. It's a nice cool day up here. I think it's 35 and sunny. So overall, this car runs and drives pretty good. Found my seatbelt here. See if we got one on the other side. We do. Tucked under the seat. So I figured out what the reverse lights were cutting on for. There's a switch under here. I'm not 100% sure why it's wired to the reverse lights, but I can flip that switch and they cut on. So that's why they were sticking on. I couldn't figure that out because I got out and I put it in fourth, went back there and the lights were still on. I was like, well, they shouldn't be staying on all the time, and I flipped that switch under the dash. They cut right off. We got to cruising a little bit, pulled the temp back down to 170. We've only been going about 20 miles an hour. So. Running and driving wise, this car feels good. It's got a lot of power. First gear really gets down. Really short gear there. Second gear feels pretty nice. Third's your cruising gear. Be riding in that most of the time. So you can put it in fourth and take off from here. Just keep it at a low idle. We're still at 1,500 RPMs. Give y'all a good view of the shifting. Plates vibrating there. Nice and easy, smooth shifting. I'm heading back to the lot now. I'm going to go ahead and start the walk around video. I'm going to point out any kind of flaws that I can find. That way you know exactly what you're coming to get when you get here. If you have any other questions, check out our website, MapleMotors.com. I got 100 detailed pictures of this car, all new inventory. So you can see everything that we got in. Got financing information on that website, along with transportation information. If you want to talk to somebody on the phone, give us a call. 615-822-4444. I appreciate y'all watching. Please subscribe, please share. Thanks again, guys.